This is why they do it. This is why they choose to live life on the precipice. This is the reason. This and no other. Victory. To be the fastest on any given day. These drivers and teams all have aspirations, each with a desire to make a mark, their mark, to be the best, to make a name for themselves. And this is the place to do just that. It's unlike all the others. A place where legends are born. A place that tests a driver's endurance and a car's durability. Here, victory can be defined by a fraction of a second. Their restless nights, time away from home, and frustration turns their focus to speed, success, and glory. All of it has led to this moment.
And the moment unfolds at Sebring International Raceway for the 2015 Porsche GT3 Cup Challenge by Yokohama, the season opener. Hi, everybody. I'm Greg Creamer, joined by John Heineff and Jeremy Shaw. An absolutely spectacular racetrack Sebring is. Historic as can be, and the weather postcard perfect. It is 78 degrees, the perfect amount of breeze, sunny skies, absolutely gorgeous. The opening round of the championship unfolded yesterday, and a couple of young guns on the front row. Series rookie Elliott Skier and Jesse Lazar had the front row. At the off, it was Skier, and that number 14, Wright Motorsport Porsche, able to open things up and stay in the lead. But then Jesse Lazar, 17 years old in the garage car, looked to go to the front. A classic deep move down into turn one paid off for the lead. In the gold category, that chrome car, that is young Sebastian Landy. Got into the side of David Ducote. They were two major competitors in the gold class. That freed up reigning gold Masters champion Jeff Mosing in the yellow Mosing Motor Car 01 to romp to an open and easy lead. This car, the 21 of young 17-year-old Jesse Lazar, brought it home, opened up a 2+ second lead over rookie Elliott Skier and Mike Shine from New York for third. And in the Gold Cup, it was Jeff Mosing bringing it home with a fairly sizable margin after that incident over Mark Yano and Wayne Ducote. At almost 70 years old is Wayne Ducote. Both Yano and Ducote, career best finishes. Fabulous run for those drivers. But let's talk about the cars that they're going to be competing in. These are all Porsche 911 GT3 Cup cars, but as they are now out on their pace and parade lap for the second round of the championship, the Platinum class, the new 2014-2015 991 platform cars, a little more aggressive in every way, and especially they have a paddle shift. The gold category, well, those cars are for the 2010 to 2013 997 platform cars, just slightly less aggressive, but when it's wheeled by a true gun, they can be incredibly quick. How quick? Well, we're going to find out in just a moment as we are just about set to get underway with our second round of this 2015 Porsche GT3 Cup Challenge by Yokohama. When we come back, we are going to set the grid for you and then take you to the green flag and the final 45-minute run of this opening doubleheader at Sebring. And welcome back to a beautiful Sebring International Raceway, everybody, for the second round of the Porsche GT3 Cup Challenge USA by Yokohama, a series that is now in its 11th year. Absolutely fantastic, and one of the largest of the 20 or so of the Porsche, what they call Carrera Cup Championships, that are contested throughout the globe. This one has blown up pretty well. And one of the reasons is a great mix in the field. You've got young guns and you've got the savvy veterans, so there's a great mix to be able to race and learn about. Now let's take a look at the starting lineup on the pole. The 17-year-old phenom Jesse Lazar with the rookie Elliott Skier alongside. Casey Coleman, he's a gun from the Masters category, won it last year. You take a look, Marco Chironi there as well, the champion in Masters in the Canadian Championship. Couple of rookies there as well that we're going to be watching. Then we go back, a couple of rookies in the gold category, one in particular, Sebastian Landy. It's going to be a serious player. Watch watch for him. You take a look at the rest of the field coming around. One thing we know for sure, this championship is going to be intently contested. And again, you've got the Platinum class and the Gold class, Masters classes within each for those 45 years of age and over. It is going to be a spectacular season, and round 2 is about to get underway. You can see Chironi running a little wide there, and I think that's just because he wanted to get a bit of a look at what he was facing as they come onto this long front straight, looking for the green flag to get the second round of the championship underway. Boy, Chironi really wanted to spot that, and we'll see how that plays out. We're green, and down we go into turn 1. Watch for it at the front. A huge start. And it is Chironi down to the inside. He's inside Casey Coleman in that battle for third. That ought to give him position, depending upon if he can stay put up into turn 3. He's got that inside position. He's through. Chironi up from 5th to 3rd. What a start. And pushes Coleman back to 4th and Shine back into 5th as they head toward turn 5. And John Hindhaugh, one of the very cool things about this championship, they're double header round. So as they whistle down into this hairpin, they've been there before this weekend, and it was exciting then too.
We had great action yesterday and hopefully looking for exactly the same here today in the second round of the Porsche GT3 Cup Challenge USA by Yokohama, a series that has extended its liaison with IMSA as its sanctioning body through to 2017 in an announcement today.
Absolutely great news for this championship in its 11th year, and it just continues to go from strength to strength. Some absolutely superb racing. Marco Chironi actually had started in the 5th spot, and by the time he got to the stripe and the green was out, he'd already made a move and got around Michael Shine. So he had a great start. The Masters driver down from Toronto, Ontario here into the warmth of the Sebring sun and having himself a great time. But Jesse Lazar was absolutely superb in his race yesterday. Elliott Skier had qualified on pole, led early. Jesse went to the front, and Elliott slipped back a little bit, fought his way back up into 2nd. But the final part of the story was it was Jesse Lazar getting that big win as the field now. Ooh, big moment. I think that was the number 19 of 14. Will Hardiman.
Turn 14, that is. One of the Kelly Moss racing cars as well there. That's the 09, is it, of James Leslie?
That's, yep, exactly. That was an avoidance move, I think.
Right front suspension damage on the 09 of Leslie's car. The 19 may have got away with it. Will Hardiman. Oh, is it? No. There's been a bit of side-to-side contact. So, Jeremy Shaw was looking at that very closely indeed. All a bit unnecessary in the first lap of a 45-minute race as they come across the line. It's Jesse Lazar leading from Elliott Skier in 2nd. In 3rd, Marco Chironi, then Koolman, Shine, Catania, Long, Creel, Landy, David Williams to the top 10, and only 5 or 6 seconds between the whole of the top 10 as they stream through across the line. But Lazar has pulled out a tiny little bit of a lead and has a bit of a, well, more breathing room than we saw pretty much for the whole race yesterday. Now, what happened back at turn 14 was, appeared to me that Leslie got turned around.
And I don't know, I didn't see damage on 19 on Hardiman's car, so I think he may have spun just avoiding Leslie after maybe contact from somebody else at that point.
Right rear damage though, definitely on the Leslie car.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So he got tipped into that. And I'll tell you, right now, a brilliant opening couple of circuits by Marco Chironi in that number 88 Mark Motors car as he's started 5th, was 4th before they got to the line, and at the end of lap 1, he'd moved around Casey Coleman and sits in the 3rd spot. And Elliott Skier, that's the white Porsche with that red nose, is coming right up onto the rear deck of Jesse Lazar right now. And Chironi watching, then Coolman, another Masters driver, the number 15 Cool Sport entry, and then Mike Shine, who got his podium yesterday with a great run, and then the youngster making the big step up into the Porsche GT3 Cup Challenge by Yokohama, Lucas Catania for NGT Motorsport, once again having a good start to this one.
And only 4 seconds away from the lead. Those top 6 at the moment in the gold category have to look down to 9th position for Sebastian Landy to be leading that one out. 2nd in the gold class, Jeff Morsing, who we saw having a decent run yesterday. He's in the 01 car, won the category yesterday. It is the gold coloured car, easy one to pick out. He's in 11th position at the moment. And then in third position is Mark Jarno, also was right up there yesterday, the 22. Another one of the gold drivers and another one of the gold masters as well. Across the stripe, another lap completed, and into turn one, a very, very expensive, powerful and impressive line of Porsche GT3 race cars as we're into lap number 3 of the GT Cup Challenge USA by Yokohama.
And beautiful looking as well, John. Fabulous machinery early in the race. Here in round 2 of the championship, we're going to step away for just a moment. We'll be right back to Sebring. Stay with us. Welcome back to round 2 of the Porsche GT3 Cup Challenge by Yokohama for the 2015 season. As you continue to watch the Platinum category of cars right here, there's the number 88 of Marco Cironi down from Toronto, Ontario. Again, the Masters Platinum champion last year in the Canadian Championship. There's a good look at Casey Coolman. Of the returning full-time drivers to this championship in the Platinum category, Casey was the highest placed, 5th in the points in the Platinum division. And in the Masters category, the champion with a number of wins. So a very strong competitor. But out front there, that white garage entry now in the hands of Kelly Moss. Well, I'll tell you, that young man, Jesse Lazare, doing a superb job. He's actually managed to stretch it out just a tick now over his pursuer, Elliott Skier. Ooh, drops that tire just a little bit. But, you know, that's one of the interesting things, guys, isn't it? Is the fact that this championship, very fortunate, of course, to be racing on the Yokohama ENVR2 tire, a spectacular tire. But there are 20 of these championships around the globe. Now, you can just fly in, right, and rent a car and run it. But if you were so inclined, you could literally take your car, whether to the Canadian series or to one of the European series or to one of the Middle Eastern or Asian series, take this very car over there, basically with very little change of any sort, run it there, right, Jeremy?
You can, and there's not an awful lot you can do to these cars. Even have sealed shocks these days with this latest specification 991 car, so you can't play around with the shocks and gain any sort of advantage there. So it really is just down to, you know, the preparation of the car, certainly, but the driving talent behind the wheel. That's exactly what it should be for this sort of a formula, which is, you know, it's a development class. You're trying to develop the talents of the drivers and the teams and mechanics and everybody else, and that way they can just concentrate on the important things, driving the car as best as they possibly can. It's a good race once again at the front of the field. Jesse Lazare made a bit of a mistake in turn 13 on that lap, strayed the left rear wheel out onto the dirt. Doesn't seem to slow him down though, because he still was what, about a second or so clear of Elliott Skier in second place. So still a good battle for the lead. Casey Coolman hanging on in third place. Michael Shine in fourth. And it must have been a mistake for Marco Cironi, because he dropped well down the order and actually came onto pit lane. So the number 88 car would appear to be out of the action at the front of the field.
All good
for
stuff.
The Canadian Italian.
Yeah, all good stuff there. I've been impressed at how some of these young drivers with relatively little experience have settled themselves in. We've got Lazare pulling away from the field at the moment. Skier in second place. What a revelation he's been over the last couple of seasons. And a big dive down the inside by David Baker, I think that was, as he came from a long way back. And Mark Jarno, who's dropped down a position or two and down into fourth in the gold category, having a cracking run. Jarno there with a bit of a challenge going on. And these guys are giving it all. And here comes Michael Levitas, who was a little off colour yesterday, and he pulls off a tremendous manoeuvre into turn 10. He came back from another zip code. He was so far away there. Massive on the brakes. Really, really brave indeed.
Yeah, Levitas just wasn't on the pace all the way up through yesterday's race. Whatever the issue was, they seem to have solved it, because he's throwing down some mighty good laps right there, and that was a great move. And also credit Mark Jarno, when he saw the car of David Baker, the 56, diving down the inside, he opened the wheel up, because if he kept turning in, he would have got clouded. He opened the wheel up. That slowed his exit rather badly and allowed Levitas to make that big lunge. But boy, talk about a nice opportunistic move by Mike to try and get right back into the thick of things.
So 10.5 minutes, 11 minutes gone. It's a 45-minute timed session here for the second round of the Porsche GT Cup Challenge USA by Yokohama, and battles are out there on the track. We don't have to look too far. Head of the field now, Elliott Skier has closed in on Jesse Lazar. This again is a nicely paced race by both of these drivers. Remember, as good as these Yokohamas are, this is a heavy, powerful sports car. It's hot out there. You can change one or two things, as Jeremy said. You have the choice effectively to set the car up for when the tyres are super good at the start of the race, or for when they have plateaued out into a very consistent performance level towards the end, and the car is getting lighter as well. It's impossible to set the car up so that it's good at both, so you have to make a decision. And then, as a driver, once that decision's been made, Greg, you've got to go with the game plan.
That's exactly right. You got to execute, whatever way the car's been set up, you have to drive it accordingly to keep everything underneath you. Great tires, certainly, but you can damage any tire. Doesn't matter who makes it if you push it too hard. You've got to read the conditions. Again, we're starting to build the heat here at Sebring. And that's one of the lessons that these young guns need to learn, and that's where the veterans can help them out. Only about a third of the way through. Lots of racing yet to go here at Sebring in the Porsche GT3 Cup Challenge. Great battles continue throughout the field here for round 2 of the Porsche GT3 Cup Challenge USA by Yokohama at Sebring International Raceway. The car up front, that is the number 16 of Mike Shine, running in the 4th spot right now. The New Yorker running for that Great Right Motorsports program. But we've got a couple of young guns sandwiching one of the veterans in this championship here in this great battle chasing Shine, Jeremy.
Yeah, indeed. We're watching here the battle for 5th and 6th. Lucas Catania and Santiago Creel coming on to the Ulmann straightaway out of turn 16, but it's still the 2 leaders out front, Jesse Lazar and Elliott Skier, already gone through turn 17. Casey Coolman in what is a pretty lonely 3rd place. He's a couple of seconds behind the leads and a couple of seconds ahead of Michael Shine, and behind Michael Shine coming off the final corner now is this great battle. It's turning into a 3-car battle now, because Lucas Catania and Santiago Creel have been caught by Andrew Long.
And it looks like Creel goes down the inside into turn 1. He's come and caught the 26 driver really unawares there. Catania's going to go wild. He'd do well to stay on the tarmac, but he does. He was way in the grey there, not where you wanted to be. Would have been very easy to panic there and completely lose it. Catania hangs on, loses position 6, but could have lost so much more. Loses position 5 rather, as Santiago Creel goes through. And Andrew Long had a great view of that and had a good run and may get a chance to make up the position, whilst Lucas Catania is gathering his thoughts after that big moment in turn 1.
Well, and I think Catania's got junk on his tires. When he got offline there, he got those marbles, and it's going to take him a few corners for that grip to come back. He did a nice job there of protecting down into 7. Long definitely had the pace on him.
And it's got away, Creel's got away from Catania, as Long is still having a wee look, darts to the right. Just tries to stick the left-hand side of his car so he can be seen in the mirror of Lucas Catania. That bright orange and white bodywork on Catania's car, very easy to spot, very reminiscent of McLaren colours from a few years ago when they had a particular sponsor that we won't mention. But it's certainly an iconic look for those cars. And good job by Santiago Creel there, coming from 6th into 5th. Hasn't managed to break the toe from these guys, though. He'll have to keep his eyes peeled and looking in his mirrors. Coming up to, and past, in fact, the half an hour to go mark. We're inside the last 30 minutes. My goodness, that's gone very quickly. Lazar leads from Elliott Skier. There were 0.8 of a second between them across the line, and barely a 10th between them in their lap times as they completed lap number 7 last time around. Yeah,
and it was the fastest lap of the race for Jesse Lazar last time around, so you're making sure he doesn't push too hard too soon. And now he's stretched the lead a little bit farther again on that lap. The gap between the 2 leaders, well, it's a whopping 0.8 of a second. So certainly very little to do between those 2. Jesse Lazar running out front, and he's going to now try and settle into a consistent pace. And Elliott Skier is going to try and keep those tires underneath him and try and pose a challenge in the final stages of this 45-minute race.
You know what? We've got a little bit of a battle starting to shape up in the gold category, too. Jeff Mosing was able to get around John Getz and Jay Patel, 2 of the platinum cars. He's now 10th overall. exactly one spot behind Sebastian Landy. Now, he's still got a gap to Landy, but he has cleared everybody, but he's got a lot of ground to make up. And getting back to that move by Santiago Creel and Lucas Catania's reaction, two good pieces of driving by those guys. Santiago waited so late and then surprised Lucas that he had already started his turn in, so there was nothing he could do. He had to open the wheel up, which got him way off. And in that situation for a young driver, you know, the big lift and the car loose, he just gently slowed it down, up in those marbles, gathered it up, and saved it. So two young guys there doing a nice job. Different circumstances for each, but both doing a nice job.
Yeah, could easily have panicked himself into a much bigger incident there. Now he's lost a position, but he lives to fight for the remaining 26 minutes of this 45-minute contest in the second race of the 2015 season for Porsche GT3 Cup Challenge USA by Yokohama. We're at Sebring. It's historic tarmac and concrete that these guys are running on, and Jesse Lazare running away with it. No, not really, because Elliott Scare is keeping him honest at the moment.
Two young guns run 1-2 here in round 2 of the Porsche GT3 Cup Challenge USA by Yokohama. Jesse Lazare, though, the veteran at 17, already a year of experience. Elliott Skier, the rookie. And Jeremy, every time Elliott seems to be able to close in just a little bit, Lazare opens it up.
Yeah, he really is pushing hard. You're absolutely right. He was right on the ragged edge coming through turn 1, and the lap times this morning significantly faster than they were yesterday. For most of the race yesterday, the race leader was turning laps in a high 1:08 range. The fastest lap of the race was a 2:08.19. Fastest lap in this race, a 2:06.9, so a whole second faster, and that primarily down to the cooler track conditions this morning compared to yesterday afternoon.
Watching him now exiting the tower turn, making the big run down into this very quick double apex left-hander, then into the tight right-hander that is turn 15. Watching Jeff Mosing as he is he's turning some quick laps, but the problem is Sebastian Landy's turning laps a little bit quicker, and he's got 15 seconds in hand. So right now it's going to be a tough day for Mosing to be able to get to Landy without some help.
You know, 15, but 4 seconds or so that lead at the lead. But what's incredible to me is that the lead, the first two have pulled out over Casey Coolman. We saw Casey Coolman yesterday, you know, losing out a little bit, but not very much to the two leaders. Well, now already he's the better part of 9 seconds behind the battle for the lead.
19th on downwards, and that's Wayne Ducote with a battle on his hands. One car either side. This could get very, very unfortunate indeed. The 22 in there is Mark Yarno in that bright orange car.
And behind that is Marco Cironi, who's working his way back now, trying to make his back through the field up into 20th place. So he's a lot quicker than these guys. He will work his way past. And Will Hardeman too, after we saw him spin on that opening lap, John.
And the guy that spun with him, 09, James Leslie, those two guys close together again at the same corner.
Yeah, James Leslie is a lap off. He's been into the pit lane and had some work done on the car after the incident. I think probably some work to the rear bumper, the 88 there. Marco Cironi's looking at the final corner. Big slide by the 22 of Mark Yarno. He's done a great job holding that over the bumps. That was all from the pressure up the inside of Marco Cironi, who takes 19th position now and heads off in pursuit of Wayne Ducote, his next target at Lano. Again, Mark Yarno just avoiding a huge incident that would have been. And again, real impressed to see the guys there, Greg, not panicking, not making a small incident into a massive one.
Well, and you're absolutely right, and that's the experience. They've been driving these cars a while. They've raced at Sebring before. They know that the bumps will catch you out occasionally. And again, quick hands, but not overreactive hands on the wheel. Let the car settle and drive through it. And it's interesting here. We've seen lots changing here. Cironi, his next victim is Wayne Ducote, as you said, he's coming up on, who's having another very solid run. But up front, it is so close still.
And confirmation from IMSA Live, and thanks to Josh Barrett for retweeting this so that I could see it. Cironi penalised as a drive-through for pulling out of line before the green flag. So our speculation at the beginning underlined there by the guys in race control, and Josh Barrett tweeted us there at IMSA Radio and at Specutainment. Thank you very much indeed, Josh, for keeping us up to date. Love interactivity with the fans. Lazar that goes across the line, and this is the biggest lead I think he's had for a wee while. It's getting on for a second now as he goes across the line to start his 12th lap of the motor race, and then almost the full length of the straight, Greg, between Elliott Skier and Casey Coolman, barely into sight coming out of the final corner.
Yeah, Coleman, all that experience, but right now not able to deal with the outright pace of these two young guns up front. They are really on their game right now. Speaking of on their game, look at this. Andrew Long down to the inside of Lucas Catania. That is a battle for 6th. He has slipped through. Beautiful pass by Andrew Long. Again, Fall Line Motorsport making their first appearance in this championship after winning IMSA championships in other categories. And Andrew Long, of course, we talked about a runoffs national champion in SCCA club racing competition, proving to be a quick study here. And Lucas Catania, great run in the MX5 Cup championship last year. And these two guys, they are going to be players as this season unfolds. No question about that. The battling continues as we now are past the halfway point here at Sebring. When we went to break, the blue Porsche of Andrew Long had just gone by the NGT orange and white of Lucas Catania for that 6th spot here in round 2 of the Porsche GT3 Cup Challenge USA by Yokohama. As you can see, folks, he has not been able to draw away. Lucas, this young man, driving for that NGT Motorsports team, keeping him close. There's a look at Bill Pelichewski. Ooh, a little aggressive there, John. Pushed just a little bit wide going into that section of corners. Still, though, he's got himself a pretty good run going.
74 running in 24th position. It is William Pelichewski. Is that how we say that?
Pelichewski. Wild Bill.
Wild Bill. I like that better. Thank you.
He's upgraded that paint scheme. He's always had his graphic package has been that of a World War II fighter.
Nice.
But now he's added the chrome elements and the like, and he just great looking car. He's a great character in the paddock, and having another solid run here. But yeah, that full straight margin now is just a pretty impressive run by these two guys up front. I mean, effectively, you take a look at it, it's the better part of 8 seconds now they have, Skier does, back to Coleman.
No, it's more than that.
Is it now?
Yeah. It's 12 or 13. I mean, they've just left him better
13,
better than a second a lap, with 12 laps in the books. And Casey Coolman now is very much on his own. Michael Shine's about another 3 seconds back there in the 4th position, and then another long gap back to Santiago Creel, who's managed to pull away from Andrew Long. Andrew Long got held up there by Lucas Catania. Now we'll see whether Andrew Long, having got past Lucas Catania, whether he can close that gap to Santiago Creel for 5th and 6th places.
A couple of tenths nicked back there by Skier. It just stretched out to over a second, the lead between himself and Jesse Lazer at the head of the field. Just 2 tenths nicked back last time, just to keep that manageable. And it looks like Elliott Skier is trying to do what he did yesterday and try and put some pressure on the leader and close them back down again. Battles all the way down through the field, as we might expect. 37 and 49 are in 8th and 9th position. That's David Williams and Sebastian Landy. Landy leading, Greg, the GT3 Gold category. Slight differences in the specification of the car. It's an age thing, and we can all get down with that.
Absolutely. Ooh, big moment there by Williams, feeling the heat from Landy. And you bring up a good point, because Sebastian Landy is driving the wheels off this gold car. In theory, it's not going to be as effective. It's nothing huge, but it's just not going to be as effective as a platinum car. And yet Landy is staying right with, I mean, he's sitting right now in the top 10, sitting in 9th, and pressuring a guy who's driven very well this weekend in one of the platinum cars. And when you get a shot like this at certain angles, you can see, you know, the differences in the cars. And that platinum car is more aggressive, wider stance, better aero, all of that. And Landy is just driving brilliantly.
He certainly is. David Williams had a great run yesterday, not quite able to show the same pace this morning, interestingly, but still running well in 8th place. It was his best ever finish yesterday, to finish in 7th in that car number 37. and just one place farther back than that today. Still a pretty stout effort by David Williams, but by far his most competitive weekend yet in this championship.
Jeff Mosing in 10th position overall, second in the gold runners, but I think first of the gold masters. Yes, he is. Sebastian Landy a little on the less experienced side in terms of life, at least.
Nice way to put that.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, well said.
I'm getting of the age now where I feel I need to defend us more experienced people.
Well, it's interesting there. I mean, for Mosing now, he came out of the exit of 1, and you could see Landy going into the entrance to 3, so he sees him. But the question is, can he do anything about Landy's pace right now? And I mean, the last lap, Mosing ran a 2:10.1, Landy at 2:9.5. So Mosing not able to do anything at this stage. Now, interestingly, with Mosing there, with Landy now kind of in this little bit of a battle with David Williams, that if one or the other makes a little bit of a bobble in that might be just what Mosing needs.
Yes, indeed. Last time around, Landy just again a little bit quicker than Jeff Mosing. A little bit a sideways slide there for David Williams. He's not very happy with that car.
Yeah, he's been a little bit concerned about it all weekend, but he's driven over, through, around, whatever the issue is, beautifully, and has had a couple of his best performances to date. There's Jeff Mosing trying to chase down the very fast Sebastian Landy. The battle in gold here at Sebring. Round 2 of IMSA's Porsche GT3 Cup Challenge USA by Yokohama continues. There are the two leaders again, just about consistently in that same chunk of time here. Lazar has that little bit of a margin. Every time Skier closes in, Lazar in that lead garage entry able to draw away, but getting down near the end of this one, John.
With 15 minutes to go now, and the 14 car, excuse me, of Elliott Skier is just beginning to get into an area where he can start to make a move, and this could be great news for the second place driver. Bad for Santiago Creel. He's off at the side of the road in the bright red and white Porsche, and that could be a full course caution with 14 minutes exactly to go, and it looks like he may have done this on his own, Greg.
Yep, right at the exit of turn 3, just got a little greedy on the throttle there, went for it, and the back end started to come around, and then it looked like, you know, he did the classic lift, then you get that trailing throttle oversteers, the nose plants, around he went, backed into the barriers, and just, unfortunately for him, went about 10 feet past the tire barriers and got into the guardrail, and we just saw the door open on the car, so he's getting out. Up to that point, Jeremy, his best run over a full season last year and this weekend here for Santiago.
Yeah, very much so. Really was a strong run for him. His best finish coming into this weekend was a 6th at Road Atlanta at the end of last season. Was running 5th here until that incident, but he'd be coming under increasing pressure. We talked about a couple of laps ago from Andrew Long, and that pressure has paid off because Santiago Creel has made a mistake, spun that car, and Andrew Long now, really fine run, got himself up into the 5th position.
No full course caution yet. I think the fact that where he ended up, way off to the left side of the track, and as I say that, they do call the full course yellow.
Well, that's very interesting because Elliott Skier had lost a little bit of time that time. All the time that he'd made up in the last 2 laps, he'd lost on that one lap. I wonder if he was already thinking that full course caution was going to come out. So Jesse Lazare leads it from Elliott Skier. We're under full course caution here at Sebring for the second round of the Porsche GT3 Cup Challenge USA by Yokohama. There's 12.5 minutes to run in this race. There is the reason. It is the number 60 car off to the side of the road. And that, I'm afraid, was all the driver's own doing. Out of the car, though. No issues there. He's going to be a very unhappy guy, though, isn't he?
Yeah, I mean, he was. That pass he made into 1. You know, it was just a great stuff. He really was hooked up and flying out there. I'm sure you can see he's just gutted at this stage.
Santiago Creel sits there. Got another chance to have a look at this. Turns in. He's on the right line there. Gets down towards.
There's a little correction there right at the apex. And as he was correcting, he went to the throttle, the back end came around, and then he checked up, and that's usually what's going to happen when you do that checkup.
As soon as you lift off there, particularly over those bumps, you know, every corner is bumpy here, and turn 3 no exception. The car was already unsettled, get off the throttle a little bit, and then around the back end went. So disappointment for Santiago Creel, but he's got to be pleased with the way he's driven up until then. I mean, or in terms of pace at least.
Absolutely.
Because he was showing a good speed and was running in the top 5. And in a series as competitive as this, to run in the top 5, you've done well.
Oh, you have indeed, and I'm sure he is very, very frustrated with how that all turned out. But he's got to be encouraged, as you said, Jeremy, with the pace. As you can see, the field starting to set up for a restart here. We anticipate it coming soon. We're going to step away. Green flag when we come back. Perhaps time for opportunity here at the Porsche GT3 Cup Challenge USA by Yokohama at Sebring. Jesse Lazare leads, but a hungry group of young guns and veterans right behind, looking to maybe make opportunity on the restart. There's the 49 of Landy, the 01 of Mosing. This yellow was absolute manna from heaven for Jeff Mosing to bring him back into the possibility of making this one a real battle. John, take us to the green.
The green flag is in the hand of the starter. It's in the air, it's waving, and Jesse Lazare gets out of the final corner pretty well. Isn't good enough. He stayed far to the left-hand side as Skier tries to go the long way around. That's a brave thing to do, and Skier has to come back because Kuhlmann saw an opportunity there.
And look
attack, defend. Everybody goes into turn 1 and 3 wide. Oh, and we've lost a wheel at the back of the pack. That is going to bring out a full course caution, and this one could be in the books. It might be a race back to the line here, gentlemen. Depends when the full course caution comes out. Lazare needs to keep his head on his shoulders here.
Absolutely, he's got to keep pace up. We are not full course caution yet. It's the number 18,
Ouch.
the Wright Motorsports machine. Tough moment here. Here's a look at what happened.
Could have run out the road.
Oh, yep, exactly it. Just ran wide. Oh, man.
Right over the top of the Michelin bridge.
Oh,
Crikey, that was a
wow, very fortunate.
And the car heads into the pit lane. Now, is that debris dangerous? This could still be, I think that could be left green, we'll see.
Well, the good news is it's a long lap here, so you've got better part of 2 minutes for the marshals there in that area of the track to maybe get it out of the way. It's not it's a 1 minute lap and hardly any time. They've got a little bit more time here, and that is why the officials are certainly waiting as long as they can before they throw the yellow.
I could have sworn, though, I saw another car spinning down by turn 1. Here's another car.
It's Ted.
That's way off track, though. That's turn 10, so no issue there at that point.
That is Oscar Arroyo.
Oh, yeah,
Thank you.
Yeah.
But I'll tell you, Andrew Long just learned a lesson. He tried that outside move on Shine going into 1, got trapped out there and diving right underneath him. Lucas Catania just shot right back through
And what
again.
Elliott Skier didn't do, once he saw Jesse Lazare protecting to the inside, what Elliott Skier probably should have done is move to the outside, give up that position going into the corner, and concentrate on getting a better run off the corner. That he didn't do.
Down to turn 17, here are the leaders diving left and right. Elliott Skier showing the red front end of the Porsche, pinches the inside the turn. Now he's got to really get the power down, and he does through the debris field. The full, no, it's not, it's the slippery surface flag. The debris flag is out over the start-finish line, but that doesn't mean that you can't overtake. Down into 1, Skier this time takes the outside line. I'm not sure he's close enough to be able to push back on Jesse Lazare.
He doesn't need to be. He just needs to get a better run off the corner. That's what he tried to do. Yes, great move there by Elliott Skier, but Jesse Lazare was smart to it. He saw it coming, and Jesse Lazare protected the inside line going through that kink at turn 2 down to turn 3. So heads up driving by both of these two guys at the front of the field. They are on the limit, guys.
And no white flag there, so there's at least one more time, right?
Just got word next time by. And we talked about it. Turn 3 is a corner where you can give the entry up with a big defensive move, drive way down the inside because of how narrow the exit is into that serpentine section. You come out right where in the middle of the track, you're parking everybody behind you anyway. So Lazare read that beautifully and defended it, but Elliott obviously figured out what he needed to do. But let's not forget that battle in the gold category. Landy has Mosing glued to him as well.
He does, and Andrew Long was the blue car, number 47 for Full Line Motorsports. We saw him make a charge at turn 1 at the restart, and he ended up losing that position again to Lucas Catania. So great job by the NGT Motorsports car of Lucas Catania.
Side by side for the battle in gold, John.
Brilliant stuff. The new front bumper in still great primer on Sebastian Landy's car. Jeff Mosing in that bright gold driver car as he is trying to make up the position. This is brilliant stuff from both of these guys. Remember, they're in amongst the platinum cars. They're battling for their own class victory here. And Jeff Mosing in that pretty much yellowy gold car is also the leader in the gold masters class as well. So lots on the line here, gentlemen, as we come down to the white flag with 90 seconds of the race to go. And those two cars in the foreground are the leaders of the race.
They are. Lazar turning into 17. Elliott Skier right there. We saw Elliott run a much tighter line, and he does it again. And remember, there's debris out on the exit of that turn. And right there, Lazar has to tighten up his exit, and Skier might just have a solid run. Watch for them. And now Skier way to the outside. He's going to try that counter move, and Mosing looking once again at Sebastian Landy.
You need to have eyes in the back of your head here as Skier comes back round just the over and under, and now he's on the left-hand side of the road for the corner that comes next. Wow, super late braking by Jesse Lazier has somehow held on to the lead for a moment, for a second, for maybe 5 yards. The 14 car was ahead, but the 21 Kelly Moss Racing car of Jesse Lazier is back in the lead. Brilliant stuff from both drivers.
Brilliant late braking from Jesse Lazier. Just about managed to keep it on the road. Really a fantastic move by both of these two young drivers.
Boy, but Elliott has got Jesse's attention. Jesse is defensive everywhere around this track. And if Elliott can just get in once again to get off that rhythm a little bit, I mean, Elliott knows now I can do it. I can get alongside him. I just need another opportunity.
The only problem is he wasn't getting anywhere near him at the finish line, and it will be the end of the race next time around. He's going to have to try something different if he's going to do something into 17 next time. The long game through two corners won't work for him. We've got half a lap left, maybe a couple of other chances. Meanwhile, look in the background. Landy with that grey bumper has still got Jeff Mosing right in behind him, and that's the battle for the gold category.
Yeah, the reason it's a grey bumper, of course, is because he punted yesterday David Ducati off the road. But it's been a good, he's under a lot of pressure now, Sebastian Landy. He's learning a lot.
Here we go, last time through turn 16, onto the Ulman Straight for the final run. It's all about exit speed here. Looks like Lazar got a pretty decent run, but it's a long straight, John, and if Elliott gets any kind of a tow, watch for the defense into 17.
Well, Lazar didn't feel the need to go all the way to drivers right there. He's going to tough this out. We've seen that he can be the last of the late breakers. I think he's probably done enough unless he makes a mistake here. Watch the bumps through under the bridge. There's one, there's two. Skier pinches the corner again and tries to get alongside. Surely he can't do it from there. Drops in. The checkered flag's in the air. They're drafting to the line, and Lazier takes round two.
Yeah, here we go.
Look, behind as well, right side by side. Are we going to get Mosing up the outside?
He got to the rear wing, but he couldn't get by him. Battles in each class for the win. Absolutely off the charts, John.
Just brilliant stuff. Just brilliant stuff.
Yeah, that was fun.
Oh, man.
That was two young Chargers hanging it out, John.
Yeah, absolutely brilliant. And do you know what? Kudos to the rescue staff there and to Race Control for giving us that last 4.5, 5 minutes of racing. Plenty of people will criticise the guys who make the tough decisions up in Race Control. I think a little golf clap from us. It could easily have gone yellow all the way to the end after that nasty-looking exit of the corner. Just running out of road here, Jeremy. This was a very big hit indeed.
Yeah, it was by, I think it was John Goetz, wasn't he? Just ran out of room there on the exit, tried to use a little bit too much room, caught that tyre barrier there, and it just grabs the front of the car, ripped that left front wheel off the car. The wheel went absolutely flying.
And I think, Jeremy, as we watch, here's the good news. There's John Goetz, who's driving off. He's okay. Watch this from onboard Ducati. The wheel comes off against car, hits Ducati's, and that's what launched it so high. The good news, Ducati able to drive the car behind the wall as well. Watch it here. He's in. Watch there. That contact sends it flying. Good news, both drivers fine, and we'll be back with more from Sebring. Welcome back to a beautiful Sebring, where round two of the Porsche GT3 Cup Challenge USA by Yokohama has concluded, and into victory circle our 17-year-old winner, Jesse Lazier.
Oh, it was a close one at the end. That full course yellow really was a surprise, but I took advantage, and I kept the heat in the tires, and I can't thank the team enough for all the support they gave me and told me what to do, and it turned out great.
Well, that year of experience is showing. A great weekend, a double, a sweep for the young Quebecois Jesse Lazare over Skier, Coleman, Shine, and Catania. There you see 8th and 9th, Landy and Mosing, their great battle at the end for the gold win, with Mike Levitas sitting there in 3rd in gold, then Barnhart and Wayne Ducote completing the top 5 in the gold category. So we really had superb battles in not just the platinum and the gold class, but the masters categories within as well. And there, of course, you see some of the drivers that had some of the issues at the varying points during the race itself, but obviously they'll be able to come back and do it in the next couple of rounds. But right now, we need to get down and hear from a young rookie who, in only his 2nd race in this category, wins in gold.
So the race was good. I was lucky to start on pole and then get a clean getaway. And after that, I was just putting some clean laps down and really just checked out. So I wasn't too happy to see the double yellow come out, because obviously it meant that all that gap that I had was lost. But it was a great race, definitely. Jeff made me work so hard for it at the end, and I couldn't be happier to end the weekend like this. I mean, I have to thank just my sponsor, Mercury, for supporting me here. This is my first weekend in the GT3 Cup, and it's a great series, and I couldn't be happier for it to end this way.
Well, at the end, he had to survive some pressure, but boy, did he show speed. Let's take a look at the points now. Platinum class, after the opening 2 rounds, easy math for Jesse and Elliott. 2 wins, 2 seconds, has them atop the order with Shine. Coleman would be leading in the Masters category. In gold, Jeff Mosing, a win in his 2nd. That has him leading gold and in the Gold Masters. Sebastian Landy, 2nd in gold. Wayne Ducote, 3rd, and 2nd in Masters Gold. So I tell you, these points championships are going to be fierce. Next couple of rounds 3 and 4, coming up at a new venue for the championship, NOLA Motorsports Park, just outside of New Orleans, Louisiana. It should be a fascinating weekend to enjoy. So hope you can come back and watch the coverage, as we're going to be having that action for you. Well, we're going to wrap things up here with a look at some of the highlights and big moments of the racing here at Sebring. Thanks so much for joining us. And again, remember to check your local listings. Join us for rounds 3 and 4 at NOLA. Until then, take care, everybody.